What's up, everybody? If I wanted to start training seriously in the year 2026, I would do these 4 things to help out my chances. Chances are you know that everyone sets New Year's resolutions, and over 95% of people will fizzle out by the month of February. And I want to give you some tools to help you so that you can make sure that that's not you. You stick through it month of January, February, and then all the way throughout the year and have a great 2026. What's up, everybody? My name's Nick Lee. I'm a certified strength and conditioning coach. I have been training athletes for a decade. I've been training myself for 2 decades, and I also dive deep into personal development. And I'm going to give you 4 tools that you can use here to help you be successful in 2026 if you want to start training and start training right. Instead of just giving you a bunch of fluff and a bunch of platitudes to talk about, I want to jump right into the value of this video. And we're going to start with the first point. And it's about the first point in any personal development, goal setting, literally anything that you're going to do. And that is begin with the end in mind. Now, when we're talking about beginning in the end with mind, you are going to want to build a vision and build a very clear vision of what you want it to look like. Now, I understand that some of you watching this video right now are going to have the goal to get healthier in 2026. I think that's a great goal, but I think I can push you a little bit further to get past get healthier. I want to be more specific. What do you want to actually do? Do you want to get stronger? Do you want to shed body fat? Do you want to gain lean muscle mass? Do you want to run a marathon? Do you want to compete in some type of athletic event? Like the goals are endless, and you can make it more specific than just get healthy. Whatever you do, whatever you pursue, the get healthy will just be a result of that regardless. So to begin with the end in mind, find a goal that you want to accomplish within this year 2026, and that bigger goal, that more specific, bigger, grander goal is going to pull something out of you that just get healthy will not. That first step is going to lead us right into step number 2, and that's going to be a mindset shift around how you train and how you work out and who you are as a person. So now let's give an example. Let's say when I brought up that first point, the thing that you had pop in your mind was the first thing that came up. You want to run a marathon, and I think that's great. I think that's tough. I think it's a very worthy goal to run a marathon. It's a long ways. It takes a lot of training, a lot of dedication, a lot of discipline. So you want to run a marathon. You don't want to be somebody that pursues this ho-hum and just doesn't really get into it and kind of fizzles out of training and then says, well, I was going to run a marathon, but then this happened, and now I'm not there. So what you are going to do is you're going to have a mindset shift. So this is point number 2, a mindset shift. You are not a person that runs anymore. You are now a marathoner. You are a marathon runner. And that might sound stupid. That might sound like I'm just trying to grasp at straws. But understand what the identity of each of those 2 things do. The first person is the person who just runs and wants to do a marathon. The identity of that person is that they are not a runner. They are just a person who runs every now and then and wants to do a marathon if the conditions are right. So that person, when things get tough, when things get hard, it's raining outside, it's cold outside, it's snowing outside, there's ice on the road, whatever it might be, the excuses will pile up, and that person will not do the day-to-day actions, the day-to-day running, and have the commitment they need to be able to run a marathon. Second scenario, you are now a marathon runner. I am a runner. Somebody that is a marathon runner, somebody that has the identity of a marathon runner, throws those excuses out the window because they know they have training to do, or else whatever plan they have built up to their marathon will get screwed up. So now you're a marathon runner. It is below freezing outside. It is snowing. There's a little bit of ice here and there. But I have to go run 18 miles. You're not going to want to roll out of bed. You're not going to want to get up early because you have work. Your kids didn't get good sleep last night. All of the things. Now, a marathon runner is going to throw all of that to the side, and they're just going to go run because they are a marathon runner. They stick to the training because they want to give themselves the best outcome possible when marathon day hits. That's the difference between the 2 identities. And I know it's just a play on words. Someone's just someone who runs. Another one is a marathon runner. Play on words, but the identity and the action and the discipline is way different between those two sides. The third point that I'm going to bring up is going to be a little bit more geared towards me as a professional, as a strength and conditioning coach. So when you start training for anything, we're going to play into what I talked about in the daily actions in the previous point. But when you start training anything, it is very good to have a process type goal. If you look at different types of goals, outcome, performance, and process, a process-oriented goal is going to outshine the other two types. Okay, so you don't want it to be just about the outcome. You don't want it to be just about your performance measures. You want it to be on your day-to-day process and how you handle what you're doing daily to get you to the point where you want to be. Now let's go back to the marathon runner. What does a marathon runner want to do? They're going to want to run every day. Is that wise for some people? Probably not. All right. But I do think it's important to build a habit by doing something daily. So if you want to run a marathon and you want to actually do the daily running, what I would say as a strength and conditioning professional is to start slower and start with less volume than you think you can handle. Now, what would that mean? So say daily, I'm going to be a marathoner. I have 10 months. It's going to be in October. I have 10 months to prepare. I'm going to run every single day until that marathon. And your first thing is like, I'm going to run a mile every day. As a strength and conditioning professional, and as someone who's worked with people in mindset, I would say slow that down and shorten it up. So you're going to want to run, instead of a mile every day, I would have you run a quarter mile to a half mile every day. Why? Because inevitably in 2 weeks, when you start doing your running, you are going to feel terrible. You're going to be sick. Your hormones are going to be disrupted. Your diet might not be enough for the new activity that you have. Your kids are going to be crazy. All this shit's going to be going on. And on your worst day, you're going to try to get out there and run a mile, and a mile is going to be too much. So then you're just going to stop training, and it's going to set you back. And then you're going to start having the excuse, well, I didn't train this day, so I don't have to train whatever other day that I start to feel like crap again. So instead of committing to a mile every day, commit to a quarter mile every day. A quarter mile at a 10-minute mile pace is going to take you 2 minutes and 30 seconds to complete. Okay, that is not a fast pace, right? So on the day where you are sick, everything is against you, your kids are crazy, you have to run a quarter mile. You have to run for 2.5 minutes, and not even run, you have to jog for 2.5 minutes to hit your daily goal. Okay, that is on the worst possible day that you can think of. 2.5 minutes of jogging, right? Whereas on the days you feel good, you can do more. But on that worst day, the day where you're like, I'm not going to run today, all you have to do is go out and run for 2.5 minutes, because you just have to get a quarter mile instead of a mile. There's a way bigger difference in your mind between a quarter mile and a mile. So as a strength conditioning professional, between just starting and trying to do something as a daily action, start slower than you think. Okay, so if you're like, oh, I used to be able to run a mile in 6 minutes, I'm going to do a 6-minute pace. Start slower than you think. 6-minute pace, drop it down to 10. And I'm going to do less. So I want to run a mile every day, cut it down. I'm going to do a quarter mile or a half mile tops every day, because the day where you inevitably feel like crap, you're going to want to run slow, and you're not going to want to run for very far. So that, as a strength conditioning professional, is my advice to you in point number 3 of this video. And that leads me into the fourth and final point of this video. This is a little bit more mindset based again, and that is to visualize success, right? And if you have done anything manifestation, as I have, anything of the like, where it's just like you need to visualize you conquering the end goal, and it will inevitably come, right? Visualize the end goal, feel the feelings of having completed it, and you will draw it closer to you. That may be true, right? But in that visualization process, I want you to do something else. I want you to start visualizing the worst moments. To preface what I'm going to tell you, there is some content out there. I can't remember who, or else I'd give them credit for watching it. It was the visualization process of Michael Phelps. one of the winningest gold medal swimmer of all time, right? He would not only visualize his success, but he would visualize all of the things that could go wrong in any of his races and how to overcome them in the moment of those races. And I would say that it's more important to do than just visualize your success, because you are rehearsing those issues and how to overcome them before they happen. So when they show up, you're less shocked and it's less of a hit to you because you already know how to overcome them. You already know you have overcome them and gotten the success at the end. So how can you apply this in your day-to-day training? I've done this myself. When the things are hard, or whenever you are lining up or in a certain mile marker that you know kicks your ass, going back to the marathon example, you need to be in that moment and visualize yourself overcoming that mental barrier or that physical barrier, whether it's during your runs or whether it's at night, in the morning, when you're trying to tap into the subconscious mind and really overcome those battles. So instead of just visualizing success, which is important because you want to rehearse that as well, you want to rehearse all of the crappy things that can happen during that marathon. You want to visualize the days where it's 110 degrees out, and when you step outside, you are immediately sweating because it's that hot in the summer and you have to go run 20 miles. So not only visualize your success, but visualize the day-to-day hard grind that it's going to take you to get there, and you overcoming all of those mental, all of those physical barriers, because that's what's going to get you to the marathon, to the finish line. And then you get to play into the fact that you are visualizing that process-oriented goal rather than only worrying about your outcome and the feel good of success and the feel good of what you've done. You get to prepare yourself and enjoy the process a little bit more as well. Now, I know you've stuck with me this far. This is not the highest quality production. This is kind of just me. I'm in my basement dungeon. I've got kid stuff lying around. You can see my weights behind me. I just threw this together so I could bring a video to you because all in all, this is part of my 2026 resolution. That is to get on camera, publish some stuff on YouTube, help some people out, just so that they can apply some things to their own training, to their own life, to help better themselves through this year. So if you liked this video, if you stuck with me this far, all I really ask is that you like and subscribe. It just lets me know that you enjoyed the video. I don't see myself getting a lot of views. Maybe I should, because mindset stuff, obviously, but I understand also that this is like my first real video on YouTube. So a like and subscribe, that would be so meaningful to me. And if you would happen to have any questions, please reach out, please comment, and I will get back to you as soon and as best as I can. I appreciate you for being here, and I can't wait to make more videos for you in the upcoming future. Thank you. Peace.